Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T or TT. Y'all saw the thumbnail. We talking about old Brandon today. But we'll talk about that and other things. But first, y'all know the drill. Let's turn to. Welcome back to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, CDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. Y'all know what we do at the top of my hour. Water check, water check. Today I drank 9 bottles of water, believe it or not. I know I'm going to make that up, but like I said, the summer's over, but it doesn't matter what season it is. We need to be on our water. Here at Boxing Fans Talk TV, we advocate for the average person to drink at least 100 ounces of water per day, no matter what the season is. Stay hydrated. You could cause a lot of damage being dehydrated. So we know that a lot of people don't like to drink a lot of water. And we also know that the formula for drinking water is half your body weight in ounces. But we don't think that it's practical for somebody to drink like 200 ounces of water, because you have people out there that weigh 3 something, 4 something pounds, that is. And, we don't advocate for you to drink a lot of water like that. You can, though. That is the formula. But, you can do well with shooting for at least 100 ounces. That's a little shy of 128 ounces, which is a gallon of water. And I do believe every adult, and I mean every adult, I don't care what your size is, can drink a gallon of water per day. After all, you approximately 70% water. That's what your body is made up of. So get into your melons, because they're water based. Like, get into food that is water based, like all your melons. Your watermelon, your cantaloupes, your cucumbers. And I don't even like cucumbers, but hey, I will put it in some of my drinks sometimes. But I don't like cucumbers at all. But do get into your water. And if you're not a big water drinker, at least 2 times a day. Start there. Start off at that point or that level. Drink twice a day, first thing in the morning, before your toes hit the ground, before you get into your morning routine. Drink you 8 ounces of water. Let that be the first thing you do upon opening your eyes for the day. And, have it sitting on your nightstand. Y'all know here at Boxing Fans Talk TV, we also advocate that you get you a little mini fridge. They sell them as small as a little cube, look like a little box, or they could be 36 inches high, like waist high, and that's the kind I got. And it doesn't really break you down as far as your electric bill. It really don't. It's not that big of a difference. So please, 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 you know, drink water when you first wake up. It's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of moving parts once you open those eyes, and you need the water to help things move along smoothly. Think of your body as an engine, and the water is the lube. The second time a day that you should be drinking water is right before you lay down for your final rest for the night. After you done got out the shower, the bath, you got your pajamas on, and you're getting in the bed, you're not gonna fall asleep right away. That's when you take your 8 ounces of water. And American Heart Association agrees that drinking water before you go to sleep is a good thing. It's good for your heart. So if not for nothing else, drink it for your heart. Um, Also, you got a lot of reads going on. You got revamping, recharging, rebooting, recleaning. Yes, your body needs to reclean itself every day, and the water helps with all that. You get new cells, and I mean thousands upon thousands. You make them daily, and you want to have some fresh water in there, helping things run smoothly and everything. Also, a fun fact: the average person burns between 900 to 1,000 calories at night in a deep sleep. Not a nap, not a cat nap. Now I'm gonna close my eyes for a few. No, when you get a good deep sleep with all the realms of sleep or the phases of sleep, you need to drink some water. You need to drink some water and get everything working properly and this, that, and the other. Um, that's it for the water. And I say this every day. And I know, some people have asked me, why you say it every day? Because I want it to be a habit for you guys. If you watching me on the regular and you hear this on the regular, guess what? You probably haven't even noticed that your intake of water has increased. And that's what I can hope for. Even if I could just help one. You know how people say that. If I could just help one. But on to some little housekeeping. In my humblest voice ever, please, please, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. If you have already subscribed, don't touch that button. You locked in. You already in, shawty. You good. But do hit the like and share button every time you come to the channel. And leave a comment. Put it in English so I know what the hell you talking about. But I will read your comment, and I do take things in consideration. After all, I am TT, and I might have my perspective, but I'm open minded. If there's any questions about anything that I may have said in the past or even now, hit me up at boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. You see it at the top right hand of your screen. I'll answer any question. I usually get back to you pretty quickly. And if it's enough information, then I will introduce it into the show or talk about it or, this, that, and the other. I do respect and understand people's privacy. I don't give out no emails or no phone numbers or anything like that. You'll never get that from me. Um, but do send an email or leave a comment and I will respond. Also, on the right hand side, you see my Cash App, Boxing Fans Talk TV. The Cash App. That's my Cash App with the $ in front. Thank you in advance for any Cash Apps that I've received in the past, and in talking about the future Cash Apps. Um, that's how you can Cash App me. I haven't reached super chat status yet, and hopefully forging on. That's what we trying to get to. That's why I humbly ask you guys to hit the subscribe button. And thank you in advance for anything that you do, especially sending Cash Apps because it goes right back into the show. I am on Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unless something happens, things happen and you get real busy in life, and sometimes you just can't make it there. you can't be there for whatever reason. And that's the only way that I'm not going to be on the show. But other than that, I'm here Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. And I know the thumbnails, when I create them, sometimes they say 11:30 p.m. I can't give you a logical explanation as to why that happened. That's a YouTube thing. And hopefully they get that thing straightened out or whatever. But I think it does it to a lot of people. So y'all, just so y'all know what time I come on every day. Um, so let's get into it. And I'm gonna be dropping the nugget, but I'm trying to wait for a lot of people to come in. Um, so I'm gonna be dropping the nugget that I just learned. And who am I if I'm not sharing what I just learned? I don't think that one person should hold information that can help many. That's the type of person I am. So some of the information that I share, you guys probably already know. But some of you, it always is that one person that don't know. And I know because you guys email me. And it's okay, it's cool. But some of you might know some of the things, but I don't hold on to information, especially when I know it can serve the community well and help others. So I got a fun nugget to drop for you guys concerning credit, but I'll wait till enough people come in and check me out and to drop that. But here, we're gonna start the show. So Brandon Figueroa has definitely shed some light to what's going on with him and his career or his abilities in the ring as of late. And, you've heard me talk about it. Other people probably have talked about it. But he recently has gotten a DWI, what they said is an alleged DWI. And he lives in Texas, Hidalgo, Texas. So he recently got that. Now, I know y'all say, let me see what that got to do with boxing. It has everything to do with boxing because it sheds a light into how this man lived his life. When we ask these fighters, are you living a boxer's life or not? I mean, any future opponents could use this as leverage. They don't have to say anything. They don't have to even mention it. But just them knowing it. Because one thing about drinking, it does affect you. It affects everything you do, even when you're not drunk, just like smoking does. Same thing. They both are hazards. They both are vices that a lot of people in this country have. But it does affect you. If you choosing to be a boxer, you should be choosing also to live a clean boxing life. Like eating very cleanly, no drinking, no smoking, foregoing peer pressure to get into things that affect you adversely. And drinking and smoking affects you adversely. If that's your thing and you can't give it up, then you might have to look for a career elsewhere because it's going to affect you. Now, there will always be some outliers in life. We'll say that drinking and smoking is not good for an athlete, especially a professional athlete. But you might find that one person that smoked before he get in the ring and smoke after he get out the ring and be just fine. Or it seems like they're just fine. They just, it's just like slower. The effects happens to them slower. That is the only difference. But the effects do happen to them nonetheless. So him getting a DWI, if I was a future opponent of his or in his weight class, I'd be like, you don't say. Yeah, I want to fight this cat because I know that it's dragging on him. He's also in his mid-20s now. If he was 20 or 21, we would be saying something like, that really, thinking that I have the leverage over him is really not applicable. Why? Because he's young. Two, he just starting out probably, far be it for you to think that as a youngster, like under 18, he was drinking on a regular, even though children do that. You wouldn't think that he would be doing that, or any boxer that especially came up in a family of boxers. You wouldn't think that they would be doing that. That is something that they got into when they became an adult. Why is this important? If you look at him and his brother's career here as of late, Omar Figueroa has just got retired by Sergey Lipinets, and Sergey put on a clinic on Omar. Omar just didn't have it, and they're not old. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on your gene pool. Your stock. Like, how long you can be athletic and do certain things. Everybody can't be B-Hop or Floyd or George Foreman or somebody like that. Everybody can't be these guys that can go long and long and long in their career. And if that's what you're gonna do, then you got to treat your body right. And the fact that he's in his mid-20s, all that shit that he been doing is catching up with him. And it did Omar. Omar, I don't even know if he is even 30 years old. Already had a drinking problem, already fell off. He straight know he cannot box no more. But it's the choices he made in drinking. And then I don't know how many times you got to see a problem before you say, okay, I learned my lesson, even though I'm learning it vicariously through another person. Because we know Spence just had his incident. Spence ain't the first, he ain't gonna be the last. But Omar, you guys see this shit. And then what do you go do? Now, thank God nobody was hurt and all that stuff, because how do you apologize to another family for hurting them in any kind of way because you decide to drive intoxicated? That's crazy. But Brandon, you have now, like I said, shed a light into what's really going on with you. Now, we know his last fight that he had specifically that I remember is Cool Boy Steph. And he was butthurt about losing that fight. Like, he was coming unglued. And it wasn't nobody fault but his. Cool Boy, what we could say, Cool Boy Steph was a little bit more faster, a better boxer, just did things just slightly better. And it was enough to take him over the top. Our money is in the building. Was Papa King? He said, hey, Miss T. He said, still on my water, Miss T. That's pretty much all I drink now. I heard that, Al Money. That's right. That's right. We're going to be water bandits. PGH Big Dog was popping King. He said, salute Queen T. He said, Brandon ain't let from the Spence incident. Yeah, he ain't learned. That's what you meant. This has to stop. It do, PGH. But would you guys agree that if you were a boxer and he was a potential opponent, when you be licking your chops like, you know what I'm saying? Brandon is marketable. Oh, he's a handsome guy. Y'all saw my thumbnail. He could play young Superman, or he could be the next Spider-Man, or one of them damn superheroes or something. He has a face. Don't get me wrong. Very nice looking young man. Probably a decent guy. But he's throwing his career down the toilet. And maybe he didn't bank on staying in boxing forever. Because as much as he loved boxing, he could turn that pretty face into something else. Because boxing is a brutal sport. You know what I'm saying? But no, he did not learn the lesson from Errol Spence. And I didn't drag Errol Spence, and I'm not going to completely drag Brandon. But I'm going to speak on it, because if any future boxers or any young boxers are listening, they scanning through the different YouTube content creators, and they come across my page, I would like you guys to know it's a choice, y'all. Boxing is that kind of career that you cannot serve two masters. It's just that heightened as a career, like as something to do. Is so intricate and hard and arduous that it is a master, and anyone who serves it cannot serve nothing else. Like, you're not going to be the greatest father and be the greatest boxer. One got to give. But what you can always do is find a happy medium. And if the way, like I said, Brandon was coming unglued when he lost to Cool Boy Steph. But see, I'm gonna blame it on the alcohol. But in the end, I'm gonna blame it on Brandon. He lost a little more, a little bit better in boxing and moving around and stuff and setting trap. He just did a lot of things a little bit more better than you. Take the alcohol out your system, who knows? Your brother definitely threw his career away. Talking about Omar from drinking, he threw it away. He barely 30. I don't even know his age, but I think he in his late 20s, and his career is over. Now they got an awkward style, and I always say I would never train a boxer to fight like them. They do a lot of dunks. You know what I'm saying? I know that's not proper how I said it, but they you would never train nobody to fight. I don't even like a scene on you, but I be looking like in amazement because they have these long ass arms, this long waist, from like waist to shoulders. So they make it like that. I don't know how they lean on you and still be hitting you with some reference, some reference. They still can uppercut, be hitting you on the side, whatever, and they right there. I would think that they needed some space to throw them long ass arms, but that's their style. And I look at their dad to see if they shaped like him, but they ain't even shaped like him. I'm like, who body did they got? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they took a rib out or something. But either way, it worked for them. And like I said, everybody can have their own individual style as long as it works for them. And it worked for them. I always knew it wouldn't work for them forever. I always knew that was a shelf life for that one. PGA said facts. He gonna mess up and got out like Omar, punch drunk at 29, shaking my damn head. Yeah. And it's crazy. This is a true definition of throwing your opportunities away. Spence did too. And Spence, he got it back, but you're not going to escape the damage you did. When I be talking about dehydration and drinking water and stuff, I was a person the whole time in the military. I don't know why, but I stayed dehydrated. Not on purpose, but I wasn't a big water drinker, but I drank liquids every day. But I was always dehydrated. And I got damage on me now that I know came from that. And I can't recorrect it because sometimes when you damage your body, it's damage for life. You hope that you don't continue damaging. That's all you can hope for by cleaning yourself up. Some things bounce back and you be more resilient. Y'all, it's serious out here when it comes to this drinking and trying to be a boxer and anything that's arduous. The two just don't match. Like, you're not going to think a person is in track and field and they puffing on a cigarette. How does that help them in their career? It's going to affect their breathing. It don't matter if they didn't smoke a cigarette that day of the race. The fact that the damage was done. And that's how it is with driving. Drinking. And then to throw insult to injury, he got a DWI. So he was driving. Now, like I said, I ain't going to harp on it more than I did Earl. I'm giving it the same energy. And these are vices. And, it's not funny. They say alcoholism is a disease, and I believe it. It afflicts a lot of people, and it's not funny. And I pray that he stops it. He's young enough to get a do-over. That's all I see. He's young enough to get a do-over, but he need to do it now. And he should know better, like PGA said. Learn the lesson from Earl Spence. You know what I'm saying? Look at him like a big uncle or the OG. Learn the lesson from what he had to do and how he had to turn things around. Learn from your brother. Somebody just PGA just said 29 years old, career over. 29, Shawty. You'll never think you'll say that about a boxer that in their 20s, outside of being seriously hurt, like, getting some brain type damage, or, just seriously hurt, would you say their career is over? You expect things like Paul Williams had a terrible motorcycle accident and he's forever paralyzed from it. So his boxing career was over before it could really, 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 really take off. I mean, he was doing great. He was a name. People knew him. But you can sit here and say, what could he have been? What could he have accomplished at this moment in time? Probably a lot. Because Paul Williams wasn't a joke. But riding a motorcycle affected him adversely in his career. And y'all boxers, y'all gotta think of that when you picking a career like this. You're not picking to be a CNA or to work a regular 9 to 5 at the post office or at a warehouse of any kind, or just a regular job. You're not doing that. You picking one of the hardest sports to participate in professionally, and you choosing drinking. I don't know how he missed that lesson, even with the Floyd Mayweathers of the world being around. How you missed that lesson? Floyd, I don't know if he was bragging, but he was always saying, I don't drink, I don't smoke. You never seen him ballooning up and shit. Why people don't imitate that part of Floyd? Because that's a good part. I always wonder. Al Money said, Miss T, a lot of people don't understand alcohol is a drug. It is. It is. And they say it's a disease. A lot of those fighters are drug addicted. I be wondering, Al Money, how did they get on this path? Because can you see them as little boys? And can you see them as little teenage boys in high school? And they, they so want to become a professional fighter. They doing everything right and clean. And as soon as they get in the sport, they take a turn from the worst. I mean, they was avoiding peer pressure all along up to that point, and then they can't avoid it no more. I just don't get it. I don't get it. If you knew it was something not to do and you avoided it when you were younger, how you wait till you finally arrived, you're in there, you're forced to be reckoned with, and then you start picking up bad habits. Maybe it's a generational curse that they got to get rid of. But you see, like I said, what happened to your brother. Your brother did not have an answer. And I'm not going to call Lipinets no slouch, because he's not. But Lipinets beat him with basic boxing skills. And you guys, especially Omar, was known in his early career for nullifying any boxer, just his style. Like I said, you don't teach that, but it works for them. Same thing with the Benavidez brothers. You wouldn't teach nobody to box like them, but it works for them. Same thing we can say with Pacquiao. That's hit or miss with any boxer. All kinds of boxers got styles that works for them. I'm forever in here talking about Earl Spence and everything, and how he fighting and his fighting style. It works for him. I'm not gonna say he front foot dominant, like he's heavy. That's something he could correct. When in the big scheme of boxing, somebody should teach him to correct that. But that might just be him, and the people that he's faced, it works for him. It might not work for everybody else, and I'm talking about Earl Spence. So let me put his picture up. It works for him. But couldn't it work on everybody? Well, I guess Earl Spence got to take the attitude that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's always fought like that. And he probably spent the rest of his career fighting like that. And we can't say it's terrible. We can't say it's all messed up and everything. But we can say it works for him. That's it. That's all we can say until it don't work for him. I remember when Paul Williams got knocked out by Sergio Martinez, they was like, "Are you still gonna?" They was trying to act like he needed to rectify some shit that he was doing, and he said, pretty much, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He pretty much was like, "Why would I do that? You won't saying that when I was knocking all these other motherfuckers out. I get it, I get it." But when I look at the Figueroas, I always said age is undefeated, and it will catch up to them. And if you box in a certain kind of way in your early 20s, and that shit can't help you when you get in your 30s because age would have set in and your reflexes would have diminished, your agility would have diminished, you would have got slower. If the way you boxing cannot be conducive to that, then you need to change how you boxing, and change it quick, because you don't need to be set in and how you box like a Devin Haney of the world. The way he boxes is conducive for whatever age does to him. It's conducive. So let me take Earl Smith's picture down. But I think about when people getting behind the wheel and driving. I don't like alcohol. About it, but I ain't gonna judge nobody about it because I have a vice too. I smoke and I'm in the process of trying to quit. And I have my days, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been doing pretty good though, because I'm throttling back, but eventually I ain't gonna be smoking. I already stopped buying it in bulk like I used to, and I just I don't I don't allow myself to smoke until late afternoon, just to change it up a little bit. So there you have it. I think he could change. I hope he change. He's young. Get some more of this money. Get in some good fights. You do have heart, and we like to see you back in the ring. Like I said, he's young enough to do a do-over, and I would like to see him pass. You guys pick up that ball and run with it. Learn from what people have to offer. But that's all I was going to say about him. I thought it was interesting. I think we can look at him differently. We'll start paying more attention when he do get in the ring. And even if he start losing a bunch of fights, we'll all know why. And I know some people say that's a stretch, Miss T. It's not. It's not a stretch. He needs to put down the alcohol right now and rededicate himself to boxing or get out of it altogether. Because that alcohol gonna cause you to get hurt for real, and something you ain't gonna be able to recover. Like I say, he got a nice face. He's marketable. He can do so much in the boxing world. He could be a commentator, I'm sure. He could be whatever it is he wants. Because as I said, he has that look. He could be in movies. It's just his talent is limitless as to what he can get into and do. He has all the right ingredients. But I wish the young man, and I pray for him, that he's able to put drinking down, period. You don't need it. Anywho, I'm gonna move on. It's not gonna be a total long show. I'm gonna drop a nugget. I want some more people to come in. I'm gonna drop a nugget about something I just learned about credit, and it's gonna blow y'all mind because it blew my mind. And I allow myself to be a guinea pig in all kinds of things, because guess what? I'm not gonna tell you to try some shit that I don't try. And stay tuned for a word from our sponsors. Okay, so we back. So Chris Eubank Sr. is seriously declaring that the fight with his son and Conor Ben should be put off. And he been seriously declaring this here lately. He been really wanting them to take heed. And I don't want nothing bad to happen to his son or Conor Ben, but he been seriously advocating for that. And he feels it's because of the weight issue. The weight drop that his son had to do, and the hydration clause. With the weight, that he thinks is real dangerous for his son. He feel like this is how people get brain damage and this, that, and the other, and it's not worth it. He's being a father. He's being a father, and caring about his son. And I don't know if they should listen to him. Y'all tell me what you think. I don't know if he should be listened to, but if something happened, you best believe all of us gonna be on here talking about it. It's going to be the talk of the town, and we're gonna be like, "Yo, he tried to tell y'all. He tried to told y'all. You know, he tried everything. He's thinking about going to court on this. You know, and it's like right now, it appears that nobody is listening. So I just wanted to mark time and say that today. And, I highlighted it in my notes. And I'm like, if something ever happened, of course, we're going to go back to it and get into it. Of course, there's going to be, probably some new rules or stuff interjected into boxing to prevent stuff like this. This man was a former boxer. He ought to know, this might not be good for his son. And it is so important in boxing to be able to pick the weight that you should fight at and know the weight that you should fight at for all kinds of safety reasons. Just like I said, you could be dehydrated and hurt some part of your body. Name a body part, and you could damage it for real. And that's just not drinking enough water. Well, that water has something to do with cutting weight too. You got to cut weight properly, or you're going to seriously be hurt. So I just want to make mention of that. And I pray for both of them on that fight. Anywho, moving on. Now, Keith Thurman is letting it be known that if Spence and Bud is falling through, like their fight don't seem like it's going to make it to fruition, he could fill in that void or that slot. And he's really directing it at Bud, but we know he always called out Spence as well. But Spence has made a declarative statement that he is not fighting Keith Thurman, not for all the money in the world. He's not going to do it. He's not going to fight Keith Thurman. He hates Keith Thurman, and he's just not going to fight him. But, Keith Thurman said, I don't give a care which one of y'all. Now, I'm a Keith Thurman fan still. And I give him the benefit of the doubt in areas where people don't. But, I do say shit look like what it looked like. So I can't be mad at the criticism that he gets all the way. But he was one of my favorite fighters at welterweight before Bud got up in there. So, like I said, he calling for Crawford. But you never know with Keith. Is he serious? Is he not? Keith always say, if they send a contract, then watch him sign it. And apparently he makes the world believes, from his perspective, that the only reason he hasn't fought these guys is because they haven't sent him a contract. I don't know what you guys think should happen in this. If Bud and Spence can't get their fight, should Bud go and fight Keith Thurman? Because according to Keith Thurman, he ready to fill in the slot. He keeps himself ready. And Keith, according to PBC, is a moneymaker. And even if he fell off, I'm going to tell y'all this. Keith can get casuals. He can. Again, going back to his looks. Looks shouldn't be the deciding factor about a lot of stuff. But in this world we call America, it always is. So I believe that Keith can draw in casuals and all that. And putting them two just opposed to each other. I mean, come on now. They're going to make a killing. That would be a big fight too. I personally don't want Bud to flinch. So let me be clear. I ain't putting Bud off on nobody else. The only fight I want to see is Bud and Spence. But I'm just saying, if it turn out the way it's looking, PBC is not interested in a fight with Bud. So, but I'm sure that they would link him up with Keith some kind of way. But then you're going to have to say Keith is PBC as well. So I don't know how that works out. Reginald Peters is in the building. What's Papa King? He said, hey, Miss T. He said, Big Al Money. What up, dude? But that's what Keith just letting y'all know. He just putting it out there. And then you got Canelo Alvarez is going to make an acting appearance in Creed 3. Y'all, I don't know if y'all watch Creed 1 and 2, but this time around, Michael B. Jordan is directing this cut, this part 3. And Canelo is going to be one of the guys that be in there in the movie. I don't know what role he's going to be playing. Y'all look for it March 3rd, 2023. It's not mentioned in nowhere in those articles or write-ups what role he's going to play, if he's going to be the antagonist or antagonized, if that's the word. Which part he's going to play? Is he going to be the final bout that Michael B. Jordan has to face? I don't know, but we'll see. He better get his English good. I don't know, but it might be an interesting movie. It might be more mirrored to how boxing looks today. You always have a Mexican fighter fighting somebody else, and maybe that's why they wanted him. But good for Canelo. Shout outs to him. Anywho, moving on. Wilder has declared that he will do 3 more years in boxing. Let me repeat that. I was shocked when I read this one. Wilder said he got about 3 more years in boxing, and he pretty much done. He said, which you can equate his years left in boxing to about 9 to 6 fights left, and that's what he said. So he thinking he got about 9 to 6 fights left in those 3 years, and after that he's gonna hang it up. He says that he don't need the business of boxing. The business of boxing needs him. Now, before people take that little excerpt of the article and run wild with it, he was talking about in response to either the guy asked him or in the vein of the conversation was going like, you finally reach a pinnacle moment in your life where you have more options and more choices. And that's when he was like, yeah, he made that statement. I don't need the business of boxing. He feels that the business of boxing needs him. And no matter what happens, you're not going to forget him. And I believe he will be a Hall of Famer. Would it be first ballot? I don't know. He has definitely did something in boxing where you could possibly say that's first ballot. But it's only that one thing. Sure, we had a lot of heavyweights that did great in boxing. Knocked motherfuckers out, beat motherfuckers to a pulp, was considered the hardest hitter. But they're not the ones who caught the most fame and fortune and this, that, and the other. They didn't catch all the achievements and awards and the accolades, but they was a force to be reckoned with in their own right. And that's what you can say about Deontay Wilder all day long. But he's had so many title defenses in an era where people gain belts and drop them as soon as they get them. People get undisputed, they drop it, then they move up to the next. You don't have this era where a lot of people get their belts and championships and just steadily defend it. You don't have that. But, and it's not unfair. I'm not saying it like it's unfair, but the mere fact that he defended his title, where else was he going to go? He defended his title 10 times, more than a lot of people. That's Hall of Fame worthy right there. So that might be the hump that gets him in there. Plus, out of all the fighters that he has fought or faced, it's only one that he didn't get the total knockout on, and that was Tyson Fury. Why? Because he got a draw the first time, and he lost the other 2. Everybody else that he met in the ring, he knocked them out. That's another reason that he could be first ballot Hall of Famer. But either way, he gained fame and fortune. He's good. He's good for the rest of his life. I don't take what he said as a person saying, when folks say, oh, his head ain't in the game, he ain't no more good, or just that and the other, he's on the downward slope. I don't take it like that. I take him assessing how he feel he's going to carry out his career. He's happy with the success that he's had. He probably didn't expect to even have what he has had. Of course, he wanted more, and he tried. He has the attitude that we would want in any boxer. Run him. I ain't backing down for nothing. I ain't turning down nothing but my collar. Run him. You say he the best, I need him to be in the ring with me. Let's see. That fearless approach to boxing is what fans love. And the icing on the cake is he be knocking motherfuckers out. I totally get what he's saying. In 3 years, he'll be damn near 40. Gotta hang it up sometime. So, yeah, go and get some extra money. Make it, you want to survive in this life after boxing, You want to hang it up, do you. And this is all from an interview that he gave to Scott Sports. He also said he wants to do a fight in the UK. Maybe that'll be his last fight. I don't know. Maybe that'll be his next fight after this one. And he also said he doesn't mind a fourth fight with Fury. Now, I don't know how Fury gonna feel about that, because Fury didn't even want the third fight. He was crying in court, like literally crying in court about having to honor the contract and do the third fight. Whatever we can say about Deontay Wilder, he's a man of principle. You gotta respect that, and you gotta have some kind of love for that, because we should all live our lives more so on principle than emotions, And before I get into the boxing schedule, I do want to tell y'all we are in voting season, so be sure that you go out and vote. Every state in the union is probably going to be electing new congressmen and stuff, because that goes every 2 years, and we on that second year. You guys, please, please, please go out and vote. Anybody that tell you not to vote, please, they don't got your best interest at heart. Stop listening to that shit. Go out and vote. People died so you can have that right and privilege. If you're not a white male, people have actually put their life on the line so you can go vote. That's white women, black people, Mexican people, Indian people, everybody. The only one that had true assurance of privilege, because the right to vote is just that. It's a privilege. It's right. You know what I'm saying? But you need to engage in stuff like that. And all I can tell you, like, I can advocate and suggest all I want, as well as anybody else. I respect everybody's right to advocate and suggest. But I would tell you, vote your interests. Understand where you fall in the scheme of things. If you're not elite, why are you voting for the group that represents them? Why? The problem with this country today is that people have moved away from, voting their interests. They get more into the emotional blame game type side. I vote Democratic, and I'm a centrist Democrat. I'm not a progressive Democrat, because I, for one, like to compromise. And I don't hate the other parties. But at this moment in time, I recognize them for what they are and what they're doing. I vote because I have an interest in growing the middle class. That's an interest of mine. It helps me in the long run. And as far as I know, there's nobody who's in elite status that's watching my content. If you are, shout outs to you. But there's no elite person in here. And I'm not elite, so I am not going to roll with what they want. I can't. The problem is that the elites felt the need to break, as my friend called it, the gentleman's agreement. And so they got their boot on the neck of everybody else. And they want to hurt everybody else. They just can't be happy with what they got. And so that's the problem that we have. We could turn the other cheek and not worry about what they doing. We'd be like, that's rich people problems. But the growing the middle class is a way to keep the checks and balances going strong in our great country. And that's why I'm a centrist Democrat. So please go out and vote. I can't tell you who to vote for. I can tell you who I'm rolling with. But do go out and vote. And don't just put Mickey Mouse on the ballot. You know what I'm saying? Vote for your interests. If your interest is medical or, health issues and shit, then you got to pick the party that's rocking with you on that. I'm going to give you a little hint, though. It ain't the Republicans. But anywho, please go out and vote. This boxing schedule. I want to read this a little bit. So Conor Benn and Chris Eubank is coming up this weekend. That's going to be on the Zone pay-per-view October 8th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all, I don't know. Y'all thumb through the YouTube because somebody is uploading the Zone fights. Thank God for them. Keep doing that shit because that's how I'm catching them. I'm not paying for no pay-per-view. And I can tell you right now, the way I feel about this Earl Spence thing, and every time I call his name, I gotta put his picture up. This Earl Spence and Bud Crawford fight, I'm not paying for PBC. I haven't all year. And now it's like I'm probably be a person that advocate not to watch PBC. I don't think y'all should give them a motherfucking dime. If they're on their way to failing, let them fall. That's free market. Because they lost track of the purpose for being the entity that they are. They lost track of who's important in that entity. It's not them, it's the fighter. And so, no, they don't treat none of their fighters right. That's enough right there to stop watching them or be engaging with them. But on the flip side to that too, they not gonna put the fights on that we want to see, and then they try to find ways to overcharge folks. Nah, that can't be business. So for that PBC, you're banned in my house. We don't do PBC nothing, and it's gonna stay like that for a minute. Al Money said, Reggie, now this show ain't gonna be too long, but let me drop this nugget that I learned. And I see it's a few people in here probably won't interested in the Figueroa story, but I try to talk about all boxing, not just Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. Let me take old Earl picture down. But anywho, so I tried this. I'm being honest, I tried this, and that shit worked. And I mean, it worked immediately. So this is what I did. I found out inadvertently, I wasn't looking, ran across this person explaining something. I don't know what made me stop and listen to it, but I did. And basically, the breakdown was they started talking about credit and how you can get stuff off your credit report. So, my ears got real big to see if they're going to say something that I already been saying. I've talked to y'all, told y'all some tricks of the trade of how to get things that very well may be your debt, how to get it off your credit report, and things that's definitely not your debt off, and why you can do it, like how the law works in your favor as well as theirs. And so this person started talking about something simple to do. And I don't know why I never thought of this or even it even dawned on me. But once he said it, it made sense. Actually, it was a lady who said it. So she said, call up your credit bureaus. And tomorrow, I promise, I'm already building a little overlay of the different credit bureaus and their address and phone numbers. So I'm going to have it posted as a reminder up here so you guys can snap, take a picture of it or write it down or something like that. And just try it out. It don't hurt nothing. And, sit down when you have a moment of time. Do this. Y'all can do that work on the sneak. Call the credit bureau, right? Ask to speak to the fraud department. So if you call Equifax, you ask for their fraud department. Then you tell them, and you got to talk to them like you're telling. You can't be Millie Mouse when you talk to them. And you don't have to be disrespectful, loud, or anything. Just don't get in there. Can you please? I kind of want. No, be direct and firm in what you're saying. Be assertive. You tell them, listen, I'm calling because I need you to remove this address associated with me. It's an alleged address. It doesn't belong to me. Because only address you want in the credit bureaus on current times is your address that you at the moment. Now think about why this is important. Because what did I tell you guys? When you write them and ask them to remove something from your credit report, they will do it no hassle immediately. And your credit score will increase immediately. But they will give that creditor, that collector, whomever, an opportunity to prove that their negative report that they put on you was valid. They give them like 30 days. So I was telling folks how you can like remove credit, even if it's for a couple of weeks, just so you can go buy something. This is not going to work with buying a home because most homes, everything is in escrow or you have to wait for closing 45 days or more. You could do a quick sale, but most of the time it's like 45 days that you're waiting for closing. A lot can happen in 45 days. This is more like if you want to buy a motorcycle, a car, a boat, it's just something. Or get credit on something. Maybe you want to get a credit card because you need one. But nobody is willing to give you a credit card. Well, there's all kinds of ways to go about stuff. Believe it or not, the laws do protect the consumer and help the little guy. We just don't know it, and they're not going to sit up there and teach you how. And you can rest assured that once I tell you this, you guys, you're going to be like, what? Try it out on yourself first before you try to go help a lot of people. Because what's going to happen is once they see that everybody know this loophole, they're going to shut it down. So get yours first. That's a healthy selfishness. You know what I'm saying? So basically, you call the credit bureau. So you call an Equifax. Yes, ma'am. Can I speak to the fraud department? Or can you put me in touch with the fraud department? And they'll be like, yes, ma'am. They'll transfer you over. Fraud department, may I help you? And then you'll tell them, hey, I'm requesting that you remove this address associated with my name. This is an alleged address. Now, I don't know how they're going to respond because the credit bureau really don't have no skin in the game. It's just black and white with them. Oh, you saying they got a negative credit report? Okay, cool. They put it down. Oh, you saying remove that? Okay, cool. So that's kind of how they got kind of like a nonchalant attitude. But in case you run across one of them gung-ho motherfucker or overzealous person who want to be like, why do you want that removed? That's not a question they should be asking. It's an alleged that, and you keep saying alleged. It's an alleged that. It's not, or it's an alleged address. I'm sorry, I kept saying that. But when you're speaking about your debt too, That's how you say it. The key word is alleged. It's an alleged address. It's an alleged address. I don't live there. So why you want to change it? Man, can you just remove that address? I'm telling you, I don't live there. My name is blah, blah, blah. My social is blah, blah, blah. Can you please remove that address? Like, you don't have to give them a good logical reason why you want them to do it. Now, don't talk negatively to them. Don't loud cap them. Talk with some respect. You get more flies with honey. But at the same time, be assertive. I'm calling you for this. I need you to do this. There's no reason why they can tell you that they can't do it. None. Keep that in mind and stop talking to them like they doing you a favor. Like, I just need you to help, like Minnie Mouse. No, no. You talk to them assertively at all times, respectfully, like they work for you. That's how you talk to them. When you pussyfoot around and Minnie Mouse and try to answer every damn question, you're only hurting yourself. They don't want to be on the phone with you that long anyway. That's an easy fix. Oh, where do you live? I live at 3221 Humana Lane. Oh, so this 5940 Mockingbird Lane, that's not your address? No, it's not. It's an alleged address. If you must go into it and you feel like your back is against the wall, they want you to give a logical reason. Just be like, well, I think somebody has opened up something in my name using that address. I don't live there, so I need you guys to remove blah, 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 blah. Well, we don't see anything. But look, ma'am, can you just, and they will remove it, right? Now, either they remove it and say, we completed that task on the phone. Don't be quick to hang up. If they gonna sit there and do it while you're on the phone, sit there. That's an easy fix for them. Or, pull another credit report a month later to ensure that it's not on there. But get rid of your old addresses that you had in the past. Only keep your current address on there. Now, this tactic is a loophole. It don't help me because I've been living at my address for a minute. And I don't move around a lot. But to the person who moves often, I don't care where in the city. It could be down the street, it could be next door. But you need to get rid of those. Now let's say you have, I'm just throwing this out here. Let's say you have a T-Mobile phone that you got 3 years ago at the Mockingbird Lane address. You pay your bill all the time. There's no reason that you're gonna go in T-Mobile and update your address and email. They don't really ask you that type shit unless you buying stuff on credit. But let's say you ain't buying nothing else from T-Mobile. And like I said, you pay your service fee on time every month. They're not asking you to update this information. That's cool for you. Because you know what you can do? Let's say you stop paying T-Mobile and they put you in bad credit. Guess what? By you removing other addresses associated with your name other than the current, you have now made it difficult for T-Mobile to prove that whatever debt you have with them is a real debt. You have now made that difficult. You don't tell the person that you're calling that's why you're doing it, but that's why you're doing it. You're going to knock off so many debts that might not even been 7 years since it's been on there, but it's following you. But you done moved. I would suggest, if that's the case, if you have moved recently or in the last year and the debt that you have is associated with old addresses, call the fraud department of each credit bureau, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Like I said, I'm going to do a little poster like thing and post up their telephone number and address. But you make sure if you call Equifax, when you get off, call TransUnion. When you get off, do Experian. Do Experian. Do them all in succession, like right there. Don't call Equifax today. Wait a week, call TransUnion. Don't do that. Always just make a habit to always deal with them at the same time for whatever issue that you're dealing with. But call them and tell them to remove that. Now, I'm sure you can write it down, but I would call because I think that it happened for me. So I'm thinking it can happen for you. I just had that type of person on the phone that didn't put up no resistance or anything like that. And I only had a couple of debts on my credit report um, that I got a long time ago. And it was like little negative. They haven't fallen off yet. Uh, when I took my address, them old past address, out of the queue, they disappeared. And I'm gonna tell you, I checked my credit score from when did I do this? I did this yesterday afternoon. I checked my credit score today, not long before I came on, and my credit jumped up 20 points. I didn't have a lot of debt from associated with other entities, like other addresses, because like I said, I've been here for a while. So I can't even do the game. I can't even play this game because my current address, most of my debt that I have is from this address. But if I wanted to, and I'm talking debt that really is yours, that's how you can knock that shit out. Because when you turn around a month later or 2 months later, and you write them this time, and you say, I'm writing to request you to immediately remove an alleged debt, account number, date open, date close. This is an alleged debt. It is not my debt. Can you please remove it immediately based on the Fair Credit Act or some. Maybe one day I'll post that basic template up and show y'all that. And I will take that letter and I will write to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian at the same time. As I told you, when you talk to one, you talk to all three at the same time, and then mail it. And guess what? As soon as they get it, they remove it immediately. But what will help you know real quick is if you got like on my app, my phone app, I have a app for my bank so I can see everything, do transaction, everything from my phone. I can. I don't. I'm old school. I like to face to face go talk to somebody about my ends. But so I do check my balances and this, that, and the other. And I do get text messages when something come out of this, that, and the other, and just to stay on top of my money and everything. But yeah, I did this yesterday, and my shit jumped up 20 points. 20 motherfucking points. That quick. Because I had already had sent in, it's been about like 4 or 5 days. I had already sent in a letter on something because it's a couple of things on my credit report that's not mine. I don't even know who the fuck these people is. And I'm like, I didn't do that. Now, either it truly ain't mine or I just don't remember. But once I took all address out and only left my current address, anybody with a contract or anything that has that old address on it, that's not proof. They're gonna look at that as this is not real. You didn't prove your case, and it would keep it off your credit report, even if it really is your debt. So I just dropped the nugget. I tried it. It works. You guys can do it or whatever. I already spoke about how to get old debts off, and even if you're trying to buy something temporary, like let's say you want to buy a car, you know, and you need to buy a car right now. If y'all remember correctly, earlier this year I bought my mom a car for Mother's Day, brand new car. So I kind of stretched myself thin because I'm retired and I don't work. So Me being the age that I am and not working affects my credit score. Also, your debt to income ratio can affect your credit score. So just doing that kind of stretched me, right? So my credit score did drop. And I didn't know it was gonna drop like that, but it dropped. you know, I still got decent credit, but it dropped. I don't like the drop, put it that way. So I've been dealing with that, and I was like, man. But before I even try to go buy anything else, I'm all about fixing my credit score. But I told you guys, if I wanted to just go, and I do need a car, and I'm gonna buy one. But I'm very patient. But if I wanted to just buy a car and just do a temporary like quick fix or whatever, I could get into all that type stuff. But when I go to fix my credit report, I be looking for the permanent fix, you know. But if you're a person who knows that you just been bad with credit and this, that, and the other, and you need to buy a car, maybe you need a credit card, maybe you need whatever. There's all kinds of ways you could do this. I've helped a lot of people with this. I've done it myself. So I would never tell you something that I don't know because I've done it myself, and I know it works. But you guys jump on that bandwagon because one day when they start seeing that a lot of people is hip to that game, they're going to shut it down. That's what they always do. And I don't blame them, but that's what they do. When you find loopholes and shit, they close them. That's what anybody would do, a business, anybody. Because they was like, oh, nah, we losing on it. Because now everybody know we got to, that's just how it is. But, I also can recommend, I got one place that I have dealt with in the past that help you fix your credit. And half the stuff that I learned is from dealing with them. Lexington Law. That's and I'm not hiding that. Like some people don't like to tell everybody what's the best options. I say Lexington Law is good because they work on your shit all day, every day. And it depending on the level that you buy into, because you got the one that casually look at your shit. Uh, you got the one that work on your shit maybe twice a week, and then you got the one that work on your shit every day, all day. And that's the one I always pick. And guess what? I live in a big, beautiful house because of it. So I'm like I said, I tell you guys, me getting a divorce told my credit, ugh, I don't never want to be back there no more. But I know how to fix it because even with Lexington Law doing stuff, they couldn't speak on my behalf. But what they did do is write me a bunch of templates, told me to fill in the blanks, mail it off myself, and voila, I got rid of a lot of debt. And the thing about that, most of that debt was mine. So sometimes just knowing the law does work for you. Embrace the Privacy Act. If you have a moment ever in your life, sit down and read that document, what it means, how it breaks down, because it really is a lifesaver for all of you, for all of us, and you guys should utilize it to your best ability. So that's the nugget I wanted to drop. I hope you guys take that little nugget, run with it, try it out. It don't hurt. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and hopefully have a overlay of the different credit bureaus, their numbers and address, because I know I got it written down somewhere. I see your Al Money. You say I'm not going anywhere, Miss T. But yeah, that's all Miss T had today. I didn't have a lot. I didn't want to miss the show. But like I said, I don't want to make shows up that, you know, ain't nothing relevant or nothing. This is a slow time of boxing. We're into football season. I just remember the name of the show I was trying to think of the other day. Inside the NFL. I got to get my Inside the NFL on to stay abrupt and current on the football season. But yes, we're in football season, and that takes precedence here. And then November basketball season going to start back up. That's going to take precedence also. And I think March is March Madness and stuff. But in the spring, going into the summer, and definitely the summer, that's when boxing is really, really hot. So boxing has slowed up, but that's why I said I'm going to bring some nuggets, some little nuggets of things that people could use and all that. And the credit thing, every last one of us could benefit of knowing the tricks in the trade. And like I said, just in one day, just doing that, credit jumped up 20 points. Hell, I would be happy if it jumped up 5. So I was like, oh shit. That's so now I said I gotta talk about it on my show. So you guys try it out and let me know. As you see, I didn't go in depth about my specific, situations. It's a way to talk about it where you're not giving up too much information and too much personal information because you don't want to do that. But if you guys want me to do a credit show one day, I'll do it. Or we can, if I definitely find out new stuff, I will share it. But that's something I didn't think about it. And when I heard it, I was like, damn, how I didn't think of that. So I didn't know that you could do that. Now, to be clear, I never said call your creditor. Like, don't call T-Mobile and say, let me speak to the fraud department. Call Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. Call one of the three and handle your business. And then once you are assured, give it a month, maybe 2, maybe 3 at the most. But stay on the phone with them because they probably do it right there when you're on the phone, unless they're busy. But once you are assured that they were complicit with what you requested to remove old addresses, wait a month after that, and then challenge any debt that you got and signed the contract for when you was at that old address. And they're going to remove it immediately. And they're going to send a notice to that creditor or whoever and say, can you prove this debt? And the only proof that they're going to have is going to have that old address. And that old address will no longer be associated with your name. And therefore cannot go back on your credit report. That's a quick and easy fix. So y'all try it out and let me know. Remember, when you know better, you do better. In my Pamela James voice, peace.